In this tutorial, we're going to talk about Surface Modeler. This tool can also be found in the Modeling Toolkit, where all modeling tools are collected together. Both windows are similar, and you can find all the functions in here. So I'll close this, and I'll use this one instead. This tool is designed to create complex models, such as this ship, or those ropes between buildings, and other complex things like that. Now, the thing about Surface Modeler is that it's going to simplify standard modeling and also speed up and make your workflow more comfortable. All right, as usual, let's create an empty plane. Toggle this to see it. And let's just draw some kind of mask. Let's definitely not make it a simple rectangle. I'm going to change angle with camera tool, left click, holding Alt. So we got ourselves this surface here, and let's say we want to create a new polygon there, and then another one over here. To do that, I simply select this vertex and get it. Then select the second vertex and click Get on the second button. And now I'll create a polygon. As you can see, we created a new polygon where we selected the vertices. So the place where the polygon is created depends on which vertices you've selected. And it pointed in the direction of these vertices, see? And then you can rotate it using this 90-degree button or 180 button to make it turn 180 immediately. Pretty cool, isn't it? If I select these two vertices here, get them. And if I uncheck along the polygon and click Create Polygon, you will see that the polygon was created perpendicular to the main one. Let's rotate it 180 degrees. Just remember that you can always rotate polygon in any direction you want, okay? Select these two, get them. And a new polygon will be created. So then you can select these two and create a polygon there, and so on. You can also change position of vertices. Cool, right? Like standard polygon modeling, just like in 3D. This way you can model almost anything, really. Now we also have this section that consists of 3 points, and let's see what it's for. Let's delete those and create a new one. And let's draw a triangle mask over it. So I'll select this vertex, I'll get it, and then the second one, and create a polygon. Rotate it 90 degrees. Delete this vertex. Okay, so now we have 2 triangles, and we need to create a third one to get a pyramid. So I get this vertex, and this one, I create a polygon, and rotate it. And you can see that this way we can't place it properly. It's not oriented the way that would suit us. And for proper orientation, we need a third point. So I'll Ctrl Z a few times to start over. I'll select this vertex, point 1. Select this one, point 2. And then select third one, point 3. Create polygon. And now the polygon is perfectly oriented in all 3 points. And we get ourselves a pyramid. But that's not all. The great thing is that you can actually work not only with mask vertices, but also with positional points. I'll delete those and create a new one to show you what I'm talking about. Create a rectangle mask on it. duplicate and drag it forward. So now we have two planes, and let's say we want to create a surface that will connect the two. So what should we do at this point? Well, first of all, we're going to generate position point on the plane and choose point 1. Then I'll select the second plane and generate another position point on it. Let's say here, click second point, create surface. And now the connected surface is created. And the touching points are exactly where we generated position points. This way we can create connecting cables from one building to another and do other things like that. We can also add a third point to achieve the kind of orientation we want. Let's select Generate Position 2 and generate a new position point here. Select point 3, create polygon. See? The created polygon is directed towards generated position. So now there's this triple intersection. You may actually ask yourself, if you can do what you can do here in this section, then why bother with those two sections? What's the difference? Well, the difference is that in the upper section, we only work with masks, and it's interactive. We do not need to select the vertices every time and get them. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So let's say I have one polygon here and I want to create something. I get the vertices on a left side and create another polygon. Then I give orientation. And look, there's no need to get vertices again to create another polygon. I can simply click Create Polygon, and that creates a new one. Click again and again, see? This will create an unlimited number of polygons. Get new vertices when you change the direction of a new polygon. Great, so hopefully that's clear. Let's move on. And let's say that now we have a solid and we want to mask it. And for some reason, we need to draw a mask larger than the solid itself. Like this. As you can see, the solid doesn't cover the mask. And what are we to do in such circumstances? Here we have Resize/Fill Polygon option, and if you click this plus button next to it, you will see that the solid increases and covers the entire mask. Let me show you an example. So when, for example, you already have your floor, and let's say, and the front part of the surface, and then what you want to is you want to create this part. So you get vertices and create polygon using Surface Modeler. And typically, you would rotate it 90 degrees. But then, there's a problem. The layer turns out to be small and doesn't match the size of the mask. And now I can just click on this button with a plus sign, and as you can see, the mask doesn't change, but the layer just got larger. Now I can simply adjust it and make the layer cover the entire surface. This can happen the other way around as well. When the solid is too large, and when you draw a mask over it, you will see how the edges are very blurry. This is because we see a very small part of the layer. So when I click here, the edges gradually become sharper. And look, the size of the solid also decreased. It isn't 5,000 pixels anymore. So you see how the tool resizes the layer, but the mask actually remains in place. And it's exactly the same thing here. Here we have a picture of a city. And so what if we want to model the nearest building? This one right here. So we have the front part already. Now let's do the side. I'm going to get these vertices and create a polygon. Okay, good. I'll adjust the mask. And let's take a look at it now. As you can see, the plane edges are blurred. And the reason for that is because the building is very close to the camera. And the actual size of the plane we created at that distance is very large. So we see a very small masked part of this plane. So when I click here, the edges gradually become sharper. And look. So you see how the tool resizes the layer, but the mask actually remains in place. Okay, now that you're familiar with this tool, let's get to practice. We're going to create this cool exterior projection, and first of all, let's quickly match our camera and F-Spy. So find that image and drag it into the software window. Let's match. Match the red lines according to the outline of the house. Match the green ones. Good. Now look, Z-axis is pointed downward, so we should fix that. To do this, change X to -X in the X tab. Now, to see the grid, choose XY grid floor in the 3D guide tab. Great, now we can compare the lines. Notice that wherever I move the grid, all the lines are in check. See? Also here. So that's it. Now I just need to export my camera. So I click File, Export, then Camera Parameters as JSON, give it a name, and save it. Now I'll go to After Effects, and to import camera, go to File, Import Camera F-Spy, and import the camera that we've created. And that's it. Now that we've matched the camera, we need to create a projection. So click this button. We need 2 projection copies because we have a house and the background, and the house covers some part of the background. Let's call it something. Click OK. Go to second projection scene. Now we can start modeling. Now using helper grid properties, let's create a ground plane to generate position for a garage. Okay, great. Generate position for the garage. I'll create a plane on that position. Let's stretch the plane. And draw a mask along the contour of the wall. And now I should create these 2 vertices and get them to create a side wall. So first one and the second one. And now I'll create a polygon. As you can see, we created a new polygon where we selected the vertices. Let's rotate 90 degrees along the X. Using buttons below, you can rotate the plane along the Y. Okay, great. Let's put the plane back in place. We need to stretch it a little bit more to completely cover the side wall. And our garage is done. Let's take a look. That's great. Now let's generate position for the house. Select ground plane. Because the house is on the ground, generate position for it. Cool. I'll create a plane now. I'll stretch it. Mask it. Now select this vertex and click Get. Then select the second one, get it, and create a polygon. Fix its direction. Notice that the plane is smaller than the mask. And this is something that we've already talked about before. To fix this, we're going to use resize/fill polygon. And that's it. Our scene is almost complete. Take a look. Seems like we should make the ground plane larger. Okay, let's see if it moves right. That's great. Now, to finish this scene, we simply need to create a surface for the environment. Let's do that. Select bottom plane, generate position, doesn't matter where, then create empty plane. Then we'll use Bend from the Tools menu. We need to create an environment here, and Bend will help us do that. Okay, these seem like the right parameters. Use as projection image. Okay. Great, now let's switch to custom and adjust the object. This is our house. And the environment should be somewhere over here. Rotate and scale. And that's it. Take a look from the top. There's our house and the environment. Now we need to move the house to the first projection scene. Select all components and move them over to the first projection scene. Let's see. Here's our house, the environment, and we need to erase the house from the environment comp. Select it, go to projection menu and edit. And I'll just start erasing it with the clone stamp tool. I'm going to hold Alt, let's take a sample and wipe it like that. Good. Let's take a look now. All right, it looks like it's time to animate the camera. I'll go to the third second to create movement. Great. Let's take a look now. I can see some distortion here. We forgot to create that part. Let's do that quickly. Locate the front wall of the house. And now we need to generate position at this point. I'll create a cube primitive. Open anchor point editor, mark reposition only anchor point, and adjust the cube. Like this. Now it's in the right place. I'll open scale parameters, uncheck scaling on all axes, and adjust the object. Done. Now along Y. Oh, that's too much. I'll adjust orientation just a bit. Okay. Let's check it out. Looks great. Let's pre-render and take a look then. Cool, that looks awesome. Great, looks like our scene is complete. All right, now let's model a more complex kind of object. Without this tool, modeling of this ship would have been very difficult because of its oval shape, and using a plane would be wrong here. But with Surface Modeler, we'll create this ship in minutes. I'll create projection with 2 scenes, and also a sea surface and the background. I'll select the sea surface and start modeling. So first I'll generate position for it. And create a plane on that position. Now we need to rotate the plane so that it has the same orientation with the ship. Good. Now mask the front part. Great, we've created the first polygon. So further modeling will be similar to polygon modeling in 3D software. Let's select this vertex and click Get, and now another one, and click Create Polygon. Great, it's there. Let's rotate it to repeat the oval shape of the ship. And then adjust the vertices. Let's see how it looks from custom view. Yes, look, our oval surface. Okay, I'll create another polygon. Rotate it. Adjust those. Let's create a new polygon. Give it proper orientation. Adjust the vertices. Okay, now for the last one. Rotate it. Adjust. Looks like a new vertex needed here. And let's see if we've got ourselves our oval surface. So let's check it from custom view. Very good. Look at the oval shape we've got. Look, everything's all right. So let's continue. Now let's move on to the left side. Select the front polygon and get the left side vertices. Create one. Cool. Now rotate it using this 90-degree button. I think we need to rotate it a little more. Okay, that's enough. Now let's adjust the vertices. Add a new one here. Let's check it out. And that's it. We did the frame. Now let's do the sails. So I'll go ahead and select the bottom plane and generate position. Then I'll create a plane on that position. Now let's see from the top view. Good. Let's move it a little over to the left. We also need to rotate it to give it the same orientation with the ship. Perfect. That's taken care of. Now go back to active camera. Now I just have to draw a mask. So let's do that. All right, let's check it. Yes, everything is great. Let's take a look from the top. The sail is where it needs to be. To create a second sail, just duplicate the first one with Ctrl D and move it back. Let's rotate it a bit. Delete the old mask. Draw a new one. Okay. All right, guys, let's see what we have here. See, we've created a complex object and it's physically correct. You can see the position of the ship and sails from the top. But that's not all. This tool will help you model even the smallest of details. We can model even wooden beams and ship ropes. So select the frontal polygon, generate position here, create plane on that position. Now we need to give this plane that beam orientation. So rotate it along the X. Let's check it from the right. Rotate it until it has the right orientation. Good. Go back to active camera view. Draw a mask. And let's check it. Yep, everything is okay. Okay guys, time to make a rope. It connects the beam to the mast, so we have to generate positions on different surfaces. So I'll select the sail layer and generate position at the top of the mast. Then I'll click point 1. Now select beam layer and generate position on that beam. Click point 2 and use create polygon using points. Very well. Look, a new plane has been created right where we needed it. As you can see, there's a mask there, but we don't need it now, so I'll delete it. I'll draw a new one. Okay, great. Let's check it from custom view. Very well. The rope weighs just the way it should. As you can see, this tool is simply amazing. You can create almost anything with it. All these small details can be modeled. Okay, let's go to the master scene and spin the camera. Okay, so this is a ready model I made. I'm pretty sure you can figure out all the small details yourselves. So that's it. Hope everything is clear and you now know how to use Surface Modeler.